Good morning, viewer. Welcome back to my channel, Hocantalk.english. This is a channel regarding finance and business information. I also produce another channel called Ho Can Talk, and that one I actually present all the same movies or video that I produce in simplified Chinese or in Mandarin. So, okay, welcome to today's topic, India hotel industry. Please go through this video. I will do this video in two parts. Today will be part one of two, and part two of two will be put up on the platform a few days later. Now, this video will introduce you to everything you want to know about India hotel industry. So do complete this video because I'm quite sure your competitor will also finish this video. Now, what if I told you that the smartest investors in the world are pouring hundreds of millions of dollars into a gold mine that most people are completely ignoring? I'm actually talking about the India hotel industry, and the numbers from the latest 2024 snapshot, which you can see from the above chart, are absolutely mind blowing. Now, you just look at this. All India branded occupancy just hit a record breaking 68%, with room rates averaging over 8,400 rupees for a night. The total market size has already crossed $11 billion, and it is on track to more than double to 24.5 billion by the year 2030. But here is the real kicker. Domestic tourism spending exploded to a massive $185 billion, completely eclipsing international travel. Now, India is undergoing a massive travel revolution driven by a booming middle class that wants luxury, and there aren't enough rooms to hold them. So, this is a golden era for investor and operator alike. So, watch this video and you will know more about this wonderful industry. Now, if you think India hotel is crowded, then look at this slide that I just put up. Now, you think again. When you compare India to the rest of Asia Pacific region, a shocking truth emerges. India is widely under hotel. Let's look at the data in this slide. China has over 2 million branded hotel rooms, but Thailand has only and Thailand has half a million. How about India? India barely 200,000 rooms. So to put that two into perspective, India has just 0.14 hotel keys for every 1,000 people. So compare that to Thailand, which has 7 keys, or compare to UAE, which has 13 keys. So yet Indian hotel market boasts the highest 5-year growth rate on this list at a staggering 16.6%, outperforming Singapore, Japan, and China. So what does this mean for you? It means India isn't peaking. It is a sleeping giant that is just waking up. Now let's look at the next slide. Who is actually making the real money in India hospitality boom? Is this those ultra luxury palaces or the budget technology startups? So let's break down the battlefield. At the top, luxury hotels like the Taj and Oberoi, they are representing 17% of the market, commanding jaw-dropping rates up to 30,000 rupees a night. But the real engine room, which is the one, it is actually the mid-scale and upscale segment, pulling in a massive 38% market share as corporate travel explodes. Meanwhile, budget player like OYO dominates by volume, covering 70% of all available rooms in the country to feed a massive wave of pilgrims and budget traveler. And don't sleep on and standard stay service apartments. They are growing at nearly 13% a year, thanks to technology expatriate. Every segment is a different money-making machine, but only a few brands will truly win the race to 2030. So, do you want to know which hotel stock are bound to skyrocket next? Let's complete this video. Now, if you look at the next slide, forget what you think you know about who travels in India. Most people think international tourists drive the luxury market or the luxury hotel market. But the data proves that assumption dead wrong. In fact, international leisure makes up only a tiny 5% of room nights. The real king of the casa? Domestic leisure travelers, capturing a staggering 45% of the market. Now, right behind them are corporate and business traveler at 30%, who are completely rate insensitive, meaning they pay top dollar for prime location. Then you have the absolute powerhouse of pilgrimage tourism, which makes up of 8% of the market and is growing at a lightning speed thanks to massive government investment in spiritual hubs like Ayodhya. So, from all these signs, you can see that the face of India travel has fundamentally changed. And if you want to understand how these shifting guest profile are creating massive new real estate fortune, let's look at the next slide. Now, the next slide, I think it's important to talk about the India hotel distribution channel regarding the mix and the trends. Actually, there is a hidden war happening right now in the hotel industry, and it's costing businesses billions of dollars. It's the better over how you book your room. Now, online travel agents like Make My Trip and Booking.com are currently winning, controlling 42% of the market and forcing hotels to pay brutal commission between 15% and 25%. But the hotels are fighting back, of course. Now, major chains are investing heavily in their own apps and loyalty programs, pushing direct bookings from 22% up to an expected of 30% by the year 2030 to cut out the middleman entirely. Now, meanwhile, traditional walk-ins and corporate travel agencies are rapidly dying out. This shift is a massive deal because every direct booking means pure profit straight to the hotel bottom line. What do you think will Who do you think will win this digital war, the tech giant or the hotel empires? Let's continue to the next slide. So ultimately, who will win? Time will only tell between whether the tech giant or the hotel group themselves. But let's look at all the Indian hotel KPI from a historical trend so that we can understand what will happen in the future. Now, this is the ultimate comeback story. This is the ultimate comeback story for Indian hotel industry. Now, in the year 2021, the Indian hotel industry was on its knees. Total lockdowns actually dragged occupancy down to a catastrophic 28%, and room rates dropped all the way. It looked like the end. But look at this incredible chart that I produced here. What followed was a spectacular V-shaped recovery that rewrote the history of hospitality. By fiscal year 2024, occupancy didn't just recover, it skyrocketed to an all-time high of 68%. Average daily rates surged past 8,400 rupees, and revenue per available room broke record at over 5,600 rupees. The hoteler completely stopped discounting and shifted to rate-led growth, resulting in world-class operating margin of up to 36%. Demand is now officially outpacing supply, and we are witnessing the most profitable era Indian hospitality has ever seen. Let's continue to see the next slide and find out more about this industry. Now, if you want to open a hotel in India, let's look at this slide that I produced. Location isn't just everything. It is the difference between making millions or losing your shirt. Now, let's look at the ultimate city showdown. Mumbai is the undisputed heavyweight champion, leading the nation with a massive 79% occupancy rate and pulling in a staggering average room rate or average room revenue of nearly 8,700 rupees. Now, New Delhi is at 78% occupancy. But wait, look at the bottom of the list. Udaipur, so while its occupancy is only at 65%, its average room rate is an astronomical 15,000 rupees per night. This is the power of luxury heritage tourism and destination wedding. So from tech hubs like Bengaluru to the beaches of Goa, every city tells a completely different financial story. So, which city do you think is the best bet for future growth? Only time can tell. Let's continue to explore this industry. The next slide, I will talk about India hotel performance by different city. Now, for years, the gold standard for hotel investment in India was simple: stick to the major mega metros like Mumbai and New Delhi. But today, that conventional wisdom is being completely shattered. Take a look at this fascinating divergence between city tiers. Now, while Tier 1 metros still pull in the highest rates and occupancy, look at Tier 2 cities. They are actually posting strong 67 occupancy at much lower operational and land costs. Now, even wilder, the tier 3 markets are actually commanding average rates higher than the tier 2 cities due to premium spiritual tourism demand. So, investors are realizing that building in emerging markets offers way better risk adjusted return than overcrowded metros. The real estate game in India has moved to the heartland, and we will continue to explore this industry going to the next slide. Now, the next slide, we will show the India branded hotel room supply and the positioning of their marketing strategy. Now, something unprecedented is happening to India's skyline. Now, in the year 2019, the country had around 150,000 or 155,000 branded hotel rooms. Now, fast forward to today, and they have officially crossed the historic milestone of 200,000 rooms. But there is nothing compared to what is coming next. By the year 2029, the industry is targeting a mind-boggling 310,000 plus branded keys. This is a near doubling of supply in less than a decade. But here is a real secret. 72% of this massive new pipeline is being built outside the major metros, focusing heavily on tier 2 and tier 3 cities. Now, hotels are getting smaller, smarter, and spreading rapidly into corners of India that have never seen a branded hotel before. This is a massive structural rebalancing of an entire hotel industry in India. Now, let's look at some of the top Indian hotel groups and look at their profile. So, when you think of luxury hospitality, you will think of names like Tar, Oberoi, and Leela. So these aren't just businesses, they are actually cultural institutions. At the absolute apex is the Tar Group, holding a commanding 20% of the luxury market with over 300 properties and a relentless plan to hit 700 hotels by the year 2030. Then you have the ITC Hotel, leading the world in responsible luxury with green energy, and the Oberoi group, focusing purely on ultra luxury perfection. Now, on the flip side, Lemon Tree Hotels has aggressively conquered the mid market space, targeting rapid expansion in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. These domestic giants are going head to head with global empires, and armed with deep heritage and legendary service, who do you think will dominate the next decade of Indian hospitality? So let me know your thought and let's continue this movie and find out more. Now, we have talked about the local Indian hotel groups. Let's talk about those international hotel groups. For sure, they are not going to leave India alone. The global hotel giants has officially invaded India and they are playing to win. Marriott's International has charging ahead as the largest branded operator in the country, boasting over 150 properties and an 18% share of the luxury market using an aggressive asset-light model. Accor is bringing French flair with everything from budget Ibis hotel to ultra-luxury Raffles Resort. Hyatt is hyper-focused on high-performing quality in key cities while Radisson has used a genius franchise model to plan over 100 flats across tier 2 and tier 3 market. Now, these international brands bring massive global loyalty databases and they are changing the game for the local hotels group. The competition is fierce, the stakes are in billions of dollars, and the landscape is shifting every single month. Now, the next slide, we will talk about those budget and aggregator hotel players. So we have talked about domestic Indian hotel giant. We also talk about the international hotel group. Now look at those local budget player. Now you love it or you hate it, you cannot ignore the chaotic rise of OYO rooms. Founded by a 19-year-old dropout, OYO completely disrupted India's massive unbranded budget hotel market by using technology to standardize thousands of independent guest houses. At, it, at the peak of OYO, it was a global unicorn valued at $10 billion. But hyper expansion led to massive quality issue and a near collapse during the pandemic. So today, this chart above show that a much leaner, restructured OYO operating alongside quality-focused budget brand like the Tribo, Fat Hotels, and Ginger by the Tata Group. Now, the budget segment is a wild ecosystem trying to balance dirt cheap prices with reliable quality. Now, it is a brutal high volume games where only the tech savvy survive. Now, after looking at all the major players in this industry, let's do a SWOT analysis of this industry. Now, let's look at the brutal truth about India hotel boom. Every massive opportunity definitely comes with hidden traps. On the strength side, India has a bulletproof domestic demand base worth $185 billion and a massive under-penetration story. Now, the opportunities in spiritual tourism and tier 2 cities are also jaw-dropping. But don't look away from the weaknesses and threat. This industry is facing a severe shortage of 150,000 trained professionals. And also, they have a brutal GST tax rate up to 28% and a long 10 years gestation periods to build properties. Plus, alternative accommodation like Airbnb are quietly stealing leisure guests. It is therefore a high stakes, high reward environment where a single economic slowdown or cost inflation spike can crush all the margin. Now, the next slide, I actually cover some of the regional hotel market in India. Regional meaning the other part of India. So, India is not just one hotel market. It is actually a collection of completely different regional economies. For example, the North India is the powerhouse of business and luxury heritage, fueled by the New Delhi metros and the Rajasthan. Now, West India is top in average revenue per room, and driven by the massive corporate convention boom in Mumbai and the coastal resort repositioning in Goa. Now, South India is actually growing rapidly at 14%, powered by the relentless effort of tech parks. But look at the absolute wild card, the Northeast India. Now, it boasts the highest projected growth rate at a stunning 16.46%. Why? Thanks to the massive government infrastructure and a massive push for ecotourism. So this overlooked frontier is the most exciting growth market of the decade. The next slide, I actually prepare some of the existing new projects that are rushing into India in various city or various places of interest. Now, you can read the slide, which is quite informative. Now, for example, the Fairmont Hotel Group is doing a massive project, which is a 446 rooms in the major city in Mumbai and New Delhi. Um, and for other group like Sofitel and Comrades, you can see that they are also deploying a new project over all the Indian major city or some of the second tier city. The opening of new temples also trigger a tsunami of over 100 million visitors a year, so sparkling a massive rush to build branded hotels in a city that literally didn't have them a few years ago. So from this slide, you can actually see some of the major project that has been earmarked to be built over the next few years in some of the major city in India. Now, a booming hotel industry cannot live without very supporting macroeconomic indicators. This slide we actually show the Indian macroeconomic indicators relevant to the hotel industry in India. Now, behind every booming hotel industry is a roaming macro economy, and India economics engines are firing on all cylinders. Look at the numbers driving this travel tsunami. India GDP growth is humming at a strong 6.8%. The number of operational airports has surged from 74 to over 120, unlocking completely new cities. Smartphone users have exploded to 715 million, putting booking engine in every pocket of all these people. And while the affluent middle class has grown to 160 million households, even non-resident Indian arrivals have surged to over 9 million. Now, this isn't a temporary hype cycle. It is a massive, multi-decade structural shift. And the economic foundation beneath India hospitality is currently rock solid. Now, how about the government scheme or any government incentive to support this industry further? If you look at this slide 17 or this the 17th slide in this slide in this video, what happens when a powerful government decide to back an industry with billions of dollars? So you get the result is very simple. You get the explosive growth we are seeing in India hospitality today. The government has unleashed a wave of massive initiative to double the tourism infrastructure. They're expanding airports to hit 220 by 2030, and they're offering e-visa to over 180 countries. And last but not least, they also encourage or they open a 100% path for foreign direct investment to flood the market with global capital. Now, furthermore, there's even a 5-year tax holiday for heritage hotels. So the regulatory environment has never been this friendly. And what happened when the government is so friendly? When the policy aligns perfectly with the market demand, then you see a lot of fortune are being created. Now, of course, last but not least, the major event that are lining up to be organized or held in India also become a very important pillar to support the Indian hotel industry. Just imagine every hotel room in a massive city selling out at double the price almost overnight. So in the past, we look at the 2023 G20 summit. So that created a 500,000 demand for room, and then the room rate increased by 50%. The Cricket World Cup actually even more crazier. So they bring in 3 million room nights with the rate double or up to 100% on the match day. So these are all the major events that you can read from this slide that I've provided. Of course, these are all the promising and positive factors that will support the India hotel industry going forward. Okay, now we have come to the end of the first part of the India hotel industry. Like I mentioned, this video has two parts. This is part one of two. I will produce part two of two and put out on the platform a few days later. So thank you for watching my video. And if you like all the content here, do subscribe and also forward my video to your friends so that they can also look at this video. Thank you very much. See you at the next video. Thank you. Bye.